This is San Diego News Daily.
Hello and welcome to San Diego News Daily. I'm Dana Williams. More than 36 airports across the country are experiencing flight reductions as the record-long government shutdown continues. San Diego International is one of those airports dealing with the cutbacks. There were about 24 cancellations yesterday, and this morning marks the start of a long 3 to 4 day weekend for many travelers because of the upcoming Veterans Day holiday. The FAA began cutting flights by 4% yesterday. It says it will cut as many as 10% of flights by next Friday. And this morning, there's new uncertainty surrounding funding for food benefits. This is sort of a rundown of what happened. So yesterday evening, the Supreme Court allowed the White House to temporarily withhold about $4 billion in the SNAP food benefits program. The Supreme Court did not rule on the legality of the White House's actions. Instead, they imposed a pause meant to give an appeals court more time to weigh the legal arguments raised by the government. The administration argued that because of the government shutdown, there's only enough money to pay partial benefits this month. That's even after the Agricultural Department indicated they would make full payments. Here in San Diego, though, funds did start to show up on EBT cards earlier this week. This includes funding from the start of the month until today. The remaining benefits are expected to be issued as regularly scheduled through November 10th. CalFresh beneficiaries can check their balance by calling the number on the back of their EBT card. In the meantime, the San Diego Food Bank is continuing its emergency food distribution for anybody impacted by all of this. They say food-related calls jumped 170% in the past week, nearly 3 times the usual number. More than 450 nonprofits are working with the food bank. There are several places distributing food today, including Choice View Church and Upper Room Pentecostal in Imperial Beach. To get a full list of places, head to sandiegofoodbank.org. Right now, a big part of the 5 is closed for construction once again. It is the same area you may remember as that closure in early September that stretched from La Jolla to Mission Bay. But this time, it's going to be all the southbound lanes of the 5 that are closed from the 52 to Mission Bay Drive. Caltrans says this is part of a project to improve roads and infrastructure. The closure started last night, and it's going to go through Monday morning at 5, but it could reopen a little bit sooner. The last 3 times Caltrans shut down the freeway, it did reopen Sunday afternoon. And AAA is reminding drivers to slow down and move over when you see emergencies on the side of the road. AAA joined the La Mesa Police Department to send out that reminder. You may remember the department just lost their first officer in the line of duty, Lauren Craven, who was hit and killed when she stopped on the freeway to help with the crash. The agencies say slow down and move over is not just a slogan, it is a state law and it can save lives.
We need to try to give people on the side of the road a buffer zone so that there's a little bit of leeway before something unexpected causes a tragedy. So if you're passing on the slow lane and there's a vehicle on the side of the road, we ask you first to slow down and then if possible to move over.
So the law currently covers police, fire, Caltrans vehicles and tow trucks, but starting this January, it's going to extend to all cars that are disabled and on the side of the road. We haven't had a significant amount of rain in quite a while, and while that is bad for our environment, it's apparently great for pothole repair. As NBC 7's Joe Little shows us, the city of San Diego right now is begging for you to report that pothole that you keep dodging on your drive.
Potholes like this one here in City Heights exist everywhere. Everyone hates them, and now is the time to get them fixed.
9 crews hunt down potholes every day in the city of San Diego.
I'm gonna set up more cones real quick, big dog.
They tackle the big canyon holes and those teeth-rattling holes that wake you up on the way to work.
That's gonna damage a tire for sure.
A.O. Ortega has patched countless holes in the past 4 years. Thursday is no different.
Hopefully 8 to 10, that's the number we're looking for.
Oddly enough, they could do more. But the city says there is a historically low backlog of pothole repair requests. They've had more than 1,600 at one time. Right now, there are fewer than 100 on their list.
It's a good feeling. You know, we're definitely in a good space.
Public Works Supervisor David Gonzalez blames it on the rain, or lack thereof.
A lot of it has to do with the dry weather. That gives us a chance to really focus on the backlog, reduce that.
The rain hasn't hit us yet, so this is a good time to knock some potholes out for sure.
Rain creates a lot of potholes, and A.O., Matt, and T here can't repair them until it stops raining.
During the rain events, our volume of requests, they skyrocket pretty heavily.
So we're gonna square this off.
The city has new trucks, ready crews, and most importantly, time. Time to get there and fix it before the rain comes again.
Seen worse, man. Unfortunately, I've seen worse.
Reporting potholes in City Heights, Joe Little, NBC 7.
And you're going to want to report them fast because NBC 7 meteorologist Brooke Martell is going to come with your first alert weather right after this, and there could be a bit of rain on the way.
You count on breaking news.
People running in the streets, they have their kids, they have their pets.
And help preparing for the unexpected.
Small fire right now, we'll keep an eye on it.
You count on stories from your community. You count on getting different points of view.
We're still human.
And your voice being heard.
We need help.
You count on in-depth reporting.
It's a mess, and it's making people sick.
Because you know the whole story is more than just the headline. This is coverage you count on, only on NBC 7 and Telemundo 20.
Here's a look at your local weather headlines. Dense fog this morning near and along the coastline. By this afternoon, mostly sunny, especially for your inland valley communities where we have those warmer temperatures. But talking about tomorrow and next week, some changes on the way. We have Santa Ana winds for tomorrow, and then getting into next week, we're talking about rain chances. Yeah, we've got it all here. And taking a look at La Jolla, we have cloudy and foggy skies this morning, upper 60s as we head into this afternoon. It's going to be a pleasant day. And the tide forecast for you, we're looking at the high tide peaking around 10 o'clock this morning, close to 7 feet. So if you're out there along the coast, something to be aware of. And then we do have a high rip current risk. We're looking at that low tide to return around 6 o'clock this evening. And here's a look at those daytime highs. 72 for San Diego International, 76 for La Mesa. We have 80 degrees for Escondido, 83 for Ramona. These areas, especially in the 80s, trending above their seasonal averages. 70s and 80s over the mountain communities. Breezy there for today, and right around 90 degrees for Borrego Springs. So sticking with the wind speeds, this is a look at 3 o'clock this afternoon. You can see that easterly flow going up the mountains, down the coastal slopes into the valleys. And we have some westerly flow here coming from those near coastal communities. But because of these easterly winds, we actually have the setup for a weak Santa Ana wind event, specifically peaking tomorrow. So that's going to dry us out. It is going to elevate our fire weather concern, as you can see here. And this is the second Santa Ana we've had since the start of the water year on October 1st. By tomorrow, some of these winds could peak right around 25 to 40 miles per hour. Here is the setup. We have that high pressure, again, bringing us warmer daytime highs really through the start of this upcoming week. And then we have this low here way off the coastline. But when we have that setup, high to low, that's when we start to see these events here when it comes to Santa Ana winds. But if we take a look at what we can expect as we get into the coming days, we do have the chance for some rain back in the forecast because of this low pressure system way to our north. It's going to bring some of that moisture to the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, even snow potential here. And as we get into about Thursday, Friday, that's when we could have some rain chances locally. So let's take a look at that rain forecast for you. You can see that the chances start to increase by Thursday into Friday. We'll have a better idea of timing as we get into the next couple of days. But the 10-day forecast shows it's not just the rain. Look at the temperatures. Low 60s by next Saturday, a possibility for the coast. Mid 60s by that time for the inland valley communities. So in some cases, we'll be cooling down by about 25 degrees between Monday and Saturday for the valleys. We could see a similar trend taking place for the mountain communities as we get into those 50s by the end of the week. So you can see this cool storm system moving through, cooling us down and then bringing the chances for rain, the cloudy skies. Same thing will go for the desert region, getting out of those 90s, back to the 80s by midweek, and then maybe back to the 60s by the end of the week, Dana.
We are now just weeks away until Petco Park transforms into a wrestling arena. The WWD announced earlier this year that Survivor Series will be coming to San Diego later this month. It's the first time that the series is hosted at a ballpark, and it will also be the first major WWE event held in San Diego since 2008. Many superstar wrestlers are from or live in San Diego, including Rey Mysterio, his son Dominic Mysterio, and Nikki Bella, just to name a few. And then there's Rey Fenix, who lives in Chula Vista. He is one of the most gifted luchadors in the world, bringing his quick speed, high-flying jumps, and creative use of the ropes in the ring. He wears a mask, so we asked him what it means to be wearing one.
It's really cool because it's like you are two different people always. Sometimes people recognize me in the street. It is like, hey, you are Rey Fenix, right? It's like, yeah, I recognize your tattoos. Oh, can I take a picture? Of course, sometimes I have I have my mask with me, but sometimes I'm doing my family thing. So, uh, just like one shake hands and one hug, and I'll always be nice with the people because for all the crowd, all the people, it's who I am. So, but yeah, it is being a luchador is like a real superhero. You have two different lives, and that's pretty cool.
Pretty darn cool is right. Survivor Series comes to Petco Park on November 29th. And there's more coverage you can count on at NBC7.com. And you can always find us on your Roku or your Samsung Smart TV app. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dana Williams.